Hey guys, Micah from Black Bear Custom Kydex. I've got a video for you today on a project I just finished for my client Tristan. And Tristan sent me his PKS Mountaineer, his Tops Bob, and Mora Garberg. Actually, this is my Mora Garberg, but obviously used it to form his sheath. And I do own a Tops Bob, but I like to have customers send their Bob because depending on the liners, you might have a different thickness of scale. And this is the only way I can guarantee a perfect fit for your knife. Getting into this, he asked for obviously all three knives to be done in the same colors. We have flat dark earth as the base layer for the sheaths, with reinforcement plate at the mouth of the sheath as well as at the tip, and that's done in flat black. Obviously we have some hunter's orange as well, and these are ferro rod loops that are designed for the Exotac fire rod or any other 5/16 inch diameter rod. So you see how these look. That's pretty much what you'd expect. The newer fire rods that you can get have an actual a little bit longer rod on them, so they're even better than this. This is the old school first edition, I believe. But this is an excellent fire rod or ferro rod option if you're looking for one. So Tristan, I will be including 3 lengths of shock cord for you to attach to your fire rod. And what that really is there for, guys, is to ensure that after you've whittled your rod down and shrunk it, it will still be able to retain itself in this holder rather than just fall straight out. Right now that's a little bit snug with the new rod, but as you use it, obviously it's going to get smaller and smaller, so you're going to need some kind of secondary retention. Looking at the retention, speaking of which, on all 3 of these, we've got a nice ballistic draw with this Mora Garberg. Nice click in, no rattle, no play. Very nice retention. With the Bob, same thing. Really ballistic draw with this Bob. I love the click in on this too. Feels really nice. And then we have the PKS Mountaineer, and this one almost ballistic draw. I think just based on the geometry of the blade, it doesn't tend to pop off quite in the direction that you want it to, so it ends up maybe banging around a little bit before it comes out. But it's a very smooth draw. Very nice click in. No rattle, no play. All 3 of these have excellent retention and really crisp and nice draws and resheaths. Now we have one other device here on the face of the Mountaineer sheath, but before I get into that, we got to talk about the carry setups. So as you can see, sticking out the bottom of all 3 of these, we have a Tech Lock. Tech Lock is my favorite belt clip for outside the waistband carry with any given knife, particularly with mid to small knives. It just works really well. It's very rugged, and the way I set up the sheaths with the drill hole points, you can actually mount them at a variety of different angles, so you're not limited to just carrying horizontal or vertical. You can also do some canted angles, and I think you'll find there's probably something for everyone with the way that I set up my drill hole spacings and the ability to mount your Tech Lock at a variety of angles. Now on the PKS, you also have a dangler. This is an invention of mine called the clasp dangler, and what it is just a piece of leather wrapped onto the arc of a D-ring, and on the flat bar of the D-ring you have a piece of Kydex. The Kydex is measured out to be the right width, thickness, and length, so that when you have these stoppers installed at the bottom, it actually locks in really nicely with this. It becomes very stable. It doesn't want to move around at all, so it converts to a very stable and very comfortable dangler system. This is a very versatile carry option, and if you're looking for being able to belt carry as well as have a dangler, this is what I would recommend to you, possibly with the addition of a pivot plate for the Tech Lock, so that you can also go from a horizontal carry. Obviously it's got to be in this position for the dangler to be functional, or you can then pivot the Tech Lock up and carry as a vertical. So a lot of options with this. Now with the smaller ones, the Tech Lock obviously is the carry setup, but it interacts with this device here on the face of the PKS Mountaineer. Now this device is another invention of mine called the Universal Tech Lock Adapter, and recently I had a machinist cut this with a CNC for me so that I could vacuum form a really precise shell for the face of my UTA, and it includes a feature here. This is a compartment for the mag retention device. And this is a brilliant little device originally invented to work with magazine holsters or mag pouches. And essentially it's just this rugged polymer clip that has a movable arm on it, or finger they think they refer to it as, and a set screw here which pushes it out. So you need a 1/8 inch hex bit, and you can adjust. Watch as I dial this in. You can see obviously that finger gets pushed out by the set screw. So essentially when it's installed here, by tightening that screw, you're pushing into the side of the tech lock and creating lateral pressure, which increases the retention. So these are a really great device if you can add them to something for adjustable retention, and that's what I've done here. Just a huge fan, and really allows the user to customize how much they want the retention to hold. So obviously I'm talking about it in terms of the tech lock being inserted, which means that you can quickly combine or separate any combination of the smaller knives with the PKS, which is really cool. It's designed to work with the tech lock itself, not with a specific sheath, so that no matter what you have the tech lock installed on, you can ride that into the universal tech lock adapter and have a breakaway piggyback. So when I say breakaway piggyback, the difference is there are two different types of piggybacks. Generally, there's a fixed piggyback and a breakaway piggyback. Fixed is where I would use Chicago screws, which are what you see all the hardware here. It's a male and a female screw that bind together. They're also called binding posts or sex bolts, and you'd use those to combine the two sheaths, which means that they have a hard attachment. They're not going to separate unless you use tools to actually undo that hardware. Breakaway piggyback is just a concept I created a few years ago, which allows you to quickly combine, separate without the use of any tools. And there are a number of different configurations that you can choose, and it's all based on how you want to carry the smaller knives. So obviously in this context, both of them are on a tech lock, which means we're going with the universal tech lock adapter. So I think that's just about everything to show you with these sheaths. I'd love your opinions down below, how you think the sheaths came out. What do you think of these three knives? Personally, I don't own any PKS, and I really need to get a couple because I love them. Every time I've had one come through the shop, I've absolutely loved how it feels in hand, how it looks, and everything I've seen online for reviews shows that they are also really capable knives. I also really am quite a fan of Dave Canterbury and all the stuff that he does at PKS. So let me know what you guys think down below. I'd love your opinions on all three of these knives. The Bob, by the way, is one of my all-time favorite knives. And then the Garberg, of course, is a great one. So, all right, guys, opinions down below. Like this video. Hit that subscribe button if you want to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell if you want to receive notifications every time I upload new content. And, of course, share this out to all your friends. All right, guys, stick around for the next one. God bless.